In this video, we are going to understand how women join the Kenya Police. You will see from my explanation that before a decision was made to have women join the police, Kenya Police, we had a few police women. One had even risen to the rank of inspector. But we want to talk about the time when it was officially decided that women, especially African women, join the Kenya Police. The official date of starting the Kenya Police, the women joining the Kenya Police, the official date is August 1961. So when you look at me, I am a few days older than Kenya Police women, for I was born in July 1961. This is very important, especially to people who are serving or have served as Kenya Police women. It is also important to women or girls who may want to join the Kenya Police Service or the National Police Service in Kenya. It is also important to women or men or to women or girls who have interest in knowing the history of women in the police service in Kenya. I will start. In 1961, police headquarters agreed that there was need to recruit more police women, remember, especially African women, into the police. Initially, the work of the few police corps was to train the wives of police officers in etiquette. They were taught in cooking, they were taught about house cleanliness, child care, first aid, and so on. So you find that the few police women who were there before August 1961, they used to go to the police quarters to teach the wives of police officers on the topics that I've covered, which I'll say, generally I'll call them etiquette. They were to teach them in cooking, house cleanliness, child care, and first aid, and so on. So that when you went to report to the police station that you are harmed by anybody or something like that, as the police were dealing with you, the wives of police officers would, supposing you are hurt or something, they would dress your wound, they would do the first aid and such a thing. I think after repeating myself, I'm clear. A decision was made not to recruit from the public, but to recruit from wives and daughters of serving African police officers. They were required to have a CAPE level of education. CAPE was called Kenya Africa Preliminary Examination. This is an exam which was taken at Standard 8. So we can say that they were required to have KCPE. We used to have an exam in Standard 4, which was called CEE, Common Entry Examination. So that when you have cleared with the Common Entry Examination in Standard 4, you join Standard 5, which used to be called intermediate school. And after you complete Standard 8 in the intermediate school is when you get Kenya African Preliminary Examination. Preliminary, not primary, preliminary examination. This exam was done in Standard 8. After you do that, you join Form 1. Now, looking at it, you'd find that in 1961, police women were more educated than policemen. Why am I saying so? I was born in that year, and when I joined the police after my Form 6, 21 years later, that was 1982, I was recruited with, I could say that more than a quarter of the people who joined the police, who joined Kiganja the same day as I joined, were people without any academic papers. The only qualification they had was national ID, the Kenyan national ID. That was the only thing that they joined the police service with. So I can say that at the time when I was born, the qualification of a policewoman as a recruit was much, much higher than that one of a policeman who was a recruit. I think that is important for my viewers to understand, especially historians. So as I said, in August 1961, I repeat again when I was a few days old, 18 women started a course in Kiganjo. 18 women started a course in Kiganjo under Inspector Angela Aka, under Inspector Angela Aka, who was their class instructor. A class instructor, in a simplified manner, is the class teacher. In a simplified manner, a class teacher. So 18 women started the course under Inspector Angela Aka as their class teacher. They took a 12-week course. They took a 12 weeks course, and which was less rigorous than that one of policemen. And policemen used to take longer. But these police women, the 18, used to take, what can we call? If you are, my age mates will know something that used to be called in-service course for you untrained teachers, such that you only trained during school holidays. You only trained during school holidays. The purpose for untrained teachers to train during school holidays was so that during the school time they would be during school time they would be teaching. They would be teaching during school time. But when school were on holiday, they would go to TTCs and train. As for police women, the only reason why they were not trained throughout was that they could not be accommodated in a barracks. You see, military language, a dormitory is called a barrack. So they could not be trained in the normal dormitories next to boys for reasons that you know better than I do. Although during my time in 1982, they set two dormitories, two barracks, which were on one side, which was there was no fence or anything, but then there was an invisible fence there. So as I said, the 18 women who joined, and I still emphasize on saying that they were either wives of serving police officers or daughters of serving police officers. They could not be accommodated in barracks because you don't mix the dormitories of women and men for reasons that the viewer knows more than I do. So they would be accommodated at a dormitory of a nearby girls' boarding school. Girls' boarding school. So they undertook a 12-week course, and you see 12 weeks That is 3 months. And what is 3 months? That is, you remember August is a school holiday, December is a school holiday, and April is a school holiday. You can now understand. When they started off, there was no uniform police women. There was no uniform police women. In fact, the few, like Inspector Angela Aka, were putting on ceremonial uniform, but working dress for police women was not there at that time. It is this inspector, oh no, I've jumped the gun. Uh, when these police women, the 18, were undergoing the training under Inspector Angela Aka, they had to put on the uniform of police warders. No, prison warders, sorry. They had to put on uniform the prison warders. The reason being, you see, somebody will have to come up and tell us when we started having women prison. Someone will come and give us history on when we started having women prison. But by 1960s, there used to be prison women prisoners, and they used to be guarded by women uh, prison warders. So when these people went to Kiganjo, when these women went to Kiganjo for that course, and even after completing their course, they used to put on a uniform for the Kenya Prison Services. It is later than the same inspector that this is the idea that had come quicker, but I'll now talk it. It is that time that Inspector Angela Aka went to police headquarters with a suggested uniform for police women. It was supposed to look as much as that one of the policemen, but you'll discover that throughout, it is only this uniform that was brought in by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Inspector General Boynet, that we now have a uniform for police women, which is similar to policemen. It is not just the other day, if you can remember, that police women have always been putting on a blue skirt or long trouser and a white blouse. They've been putting on that. That is why you'll find that policemen have had several changes, khaki, or you name whatever. But the uniform of police women and policemen has never been the same. I'm sure my viewers who are in Kenya know that. It is only, as I've said, the uniform of Boynet and Uhuru that brought in one uniform, the blue uniform. Otherwise, other services, you go to other discipline services, be they NYS, be they KDF, and so on and so forth. You'll find that women and men put on the same uniform. Even the GSU defines that they would put on the same uniform. The only difference is that a police woman is the woman officer has on top of the long trouser that she's putting on, she also has another uniform that has she puts on an extra cloth, which is a skirt, and even if she's given a skirt, they also observe her religion. They also observe her religion, because there are some religions which I'll not mention, where uh, the women, when they are in uniform, police uniform, they have to dress in maxi dress. She has to put on maxi dress because of her religious belief. The name maxi dress comes from the word maximum dress. We used to have, and I see them cropping back. In the 60s, we used to have dresses which were called mini dress. It came from minimum dress, and the maxi comes from maximum dress. With those 15 minutes of your time, I think you have learned something. Please share.